we'll go ahead and open up questions for Harlan, Obioha, and Brenen, Lorient.
Brenen, just start the career night. Just what worked so well?
Man, my teammates, they helped me out a lot tonight. Coach called some really good sets, and it was just a blessing to be able to make those shots I did today.
Brenen, how much focus have you had on the three-point shot? I don't think you had attempted one the first two games, hadn't attempted very many in your career before today. So just kind of take us through that. Where's the development coming from, and how confident are you shooting out there?
This past summer, I signed with an agency. I got to be able to see what NBA-type players look like and stuff like that. So I've been really trying to work on that. The first two games, I didn't get that many opportunities to be out on the wing, stretching the floor because of foul trouble, stuff like that. But today, they were able to find me on the outside.
Coach Hodge called the timeouts like early in the second half, kind of laid into you guys. What was sort of the messaging there, and how did you guys adjust?
I think it's been a big emphasis for us to come out of halves better. We haven't really came out of half yet like we wanted to, and that's all he talked about in the locker room when we went in there. So I think that was just him being a little frustrated on us, not executing the game plan, not being locked into what we're doing right now. And something we needed for sure because they went on that little run right there. But, yeah, definitely something that we need to work better on is starting halves better.
If something like that's happened 2 or 3 times in a row, kind of like it has, do you change up anything you do, or is it just kind of like the way the game flows sometimes?
I think, it's just the way the game flows sometimes, but it's also on us older guys. We've been in this situation before. Especially this team, we've had a lot of guys that have been to Lehigh in this situation. And so, that feeling of nothing to lose, you're coming in here just playing free. And so us knowing that, we've got to be better about communicating that with the young guys and knowing what to expect to come out there in the second half.
A lot of adjustments are made at halftime. Is it maybe information overload or can you pinpoint something?
I don't think it's information overload. I think it's us, unlocking a little bit, not staying to that pinpoint focus we are at the beginning of the game. And, like I just said, I think that goes back a little bit on our leadership of our older guys and just showing them how that is and what it looks like to do it the right way.
Brenen, how much of a confidence boost is it when the first 3 goes in? I mean, does that kind of loosen you up to shoot more?
For sure. If anybody makes their first shot, they're going to start feeling good afterwards. But like I said, we've been working on it, the coaches and the manager, so I just wanted to go out there and not think about it.
They're probably not going to sag off you now as much.
Rip, drive, dunk.
Rip, drive. You were able to play on your birthday, put up a nice stat line, get the win. What did that feel like?
Just blessed to be out here with these guys. I love all these guys, Wouldn't rather be doing anything else with anybody else. Got to come out here and get a W too, so that was another win. So I think that was the biggest thing for me is just getting the win and just being able to spend this time with these guys.
When you guys come up here for the post games, there was a lot of joking, a lot of smiling. Just talk about the chemistry of this team.
I mean, I've been on some pretty good teams and some where players don't hang out that much. So this team, I feel like it didn't take long for us to get the joke in and having fun, and we all just want a common goal. We're just trying to win. This is most of our last year, so we really want to put our all into it because we don't want to live with regrets afterwards.
Harlan, they scored on their first possession on a little backdoor cut. And that's something Coach has mentioned a couple times already. And then after that, you guys kind of shut them down. So when you give up something like that early that's kind of been the focus, does that really just kind of lock you in like, oh, okay, like we can't do that now?
Yeah, I think a lot of the times, too, on those backdoor cuts, we're trying to be so aggressive and trying to force so many turnovers that, we overplay it at times. And so I don't think, those are like focus lapses, more of just, playing a little too hard in the situation instead of playing smarter. So I think, we got backdoor and he kind of realized that was going to be their game plan, and we kind of just settled in on the defensive end.
Harlan, kind of another side of a back cut story, I guess. You're at the foul very early in the game, might have been the second bucket of the game. You're just at the foul line, maybe a step below. You kind of throw that no-look pass to Brenen. I mean, you kind of came in here saying you were a pass-first guy. I guess maybe that was kind of an example of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's so easy playing with this guy right here, you know what I mean? Like, especially when he's shooting the ball like this, 3 for 4 from the 3. where they have to respect it. And then his ability to cut behind people's heads and then his finishing ability, it makes me look a lot better. So I think, playing with guys like him helps that a lot too. But yeah, just being myself, I think, you know what I mean? Just adding that part of my game here too.
I mean, Brenen, 7-footers aren't supposed to be throwing no-look passes, though.
No, they're not, man. He's trying to downplay his game a little bit. He's a great. He sees things that at a much high rate, very fast processor. So, H.O.'s a great passer for his size and his ability, and it's one of the tools we're going to be using going forward.
That being said, how has the game slowed down for you that you can see maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead?
Yeah, I think just practicing with these guys every day. We're in here, and even if it's not practice, we'll have like guys in 3-4 groups just in there doing pick and roll drills, just to get the timing and the feel of we're playing with different players. So I think just the willingness to do that as a team has opened it up in the game. You're not sped up. You're not seeing nothing that you haven't seen before.
You guys have played 3 games so far. Where are the areas you have to get the most better, I guess?
Oh, I think we have to rebound a lot better. I think that us as a team, we have to have better leadership. Like we said, coming out of that halftime, I think that's something that leaders got to be better on. And we have a lot of older guys that have won at different spots, so I think that's not going to be a problem. I think it's just getting those voices out there so those younger guys can hear it, and just staying together, being togetherness, and having togetherness is something that I think everyone always has to work on, but we're going to continue to do better at that too.
If I could ask you guys a question about Jenkins. You guys have obviously been through the freshman thing before. He's obviously a kid who could technically still be in high school if he wanted to be. Just what are you guys seeing from him at such a young age? I mean, he's a backup point guard, and then what's he doing for you guys, and just what's he been able to accomplish early?
He's a stud.
No, for real.
He's a stud, and he brings it every day. Amir's one of the most fiercest competitors I've ever played with. At practice every day, he's in dudes, under dudes, you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to just get through practice. Amir's really trying to make the most out of this situation. And, it's tough being a freshman, especially here. I wouldn't know. I was at a smaller school, just kind of more of an easier learning process than here. He's getting thrown into this where it's a lot faster. But he'll figure it out. He's a smart kid. He's a really good basketball player. He'll figure it out for sure.
And I also want to add on that. He's a very willing learner. I think that's one of the biggest things freshmen have to adjust to, because you go from being at the top to almost being at the bottom. So he's a willing learner, and he works really hard every day. You know what I mean? And he also has a great role model, Jasper Floyd. You know what I'm saying? He's a very smart player. He can learn on those little things in the game of being a point guard. So he's gonna be a great player, and he just keep working. He'll be great.
He has kind of a different year.
That's all we got, guys.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.